Welcome back to Fox and Friends, a Fox News alert now for you. New video of the protests in Egypt this morning as they rage on today. Egyptian military has closed the pyramids to tourists, banks have been closed, and tanks are guarding key government buildings. Protesters there are demanding the resignation of 30-year President Hosni Mubarak. At least 38 people have been killed since the riots began 5 days ago, and thousands more are wounded.
And as political unrest spirals out of control, many are calling for President Mubarak to step down. Joining us now is author of the book, They Must Be Stopped, Why We Must Defeat Radical Islam and How We Can Do It. Brigitte Gabriel with us this morning. Good morning to you. President Mubarak, can he possibly survive this uprising?
Well, it all depends right now. If he can form an interim government and appoint people that represent the crowds who are demonstrating on the streets that we can trust and work with America, so at least he will render the Muslim Brotherhood irrelevant in this what's playing in Egypt right now, he may have a chance of saving his government. At least he'll send a message to his people that he is listening to their grievances, he is willing to change some things, and he is dealing with some of them from the street to work on changes. That will put the Muslim Brotherhood in the back burner and make them be irrelevant in this fight.
So many people are comparing this to what happened in Iran in 1978, that if we support a regime that comes in and throws out President Mubarak, that we may have another Islamic revolution on our hands. Well, it may appear that democracy is taking hold, but what is really happening is that Islamic terrorists or Islamists are coming in and taking over that country. Do you see that to be the case?
Yes, I do. Let's remember that the Muslim Brotherhood of Egypt is the mothership that gave birth to not only Al-Qaeda, but also Hamas and 70 offshoot Islamic organizations around the world. Ayman al-Zawahiri, the second man of Al-Qaeda, came from Egypt, from the Muslim Brotherhood as a leader and was imprisoned by the Egyptian government, and he's now in exile. And this is exactly why the Egyptian government cut off the internet and the cell phones, because they are afraid that Al-Qaeda, Ayman al-Zawahiri in particular, is going to exploit the situation in Egypt and begin recruiting. They already have members on the ground. We in the intelligence community believe that the Muslim Brotherhood is pulling the strings behind the scenes. And this is also why when they returned the internet connections and cell phones today in only certain areas in Egypt, those are the areas where the government knows that the Muslim Brotherhood is not infiltrated. These are the higher educated areas, people who are not going to be inclined to deal with Al-Qaeda. It's a very balancing act that Mubarak is dealing with, and his livelihood and his presidency is depending on how he handles the situation.
All right, quickly, your read. How will this end? We're told thousands of people weren't even planning to protest until they shut down their phone and internet service. How will this possibly end peaceful?
It is, you know, the Middle East is such a volatile place. People wear their emotions on their sleeves, as you can say. Everything is a day of rage, a day of revenge. They do not know democracy as we know democracy. People are very angry at this president, and rightfully so. There's a lot of corruption. The economy is terrible. You've got 40% of the people in Egypt make less than $2 a day. People are hungry. People want change, and that's also part of what's driving this uprising, and the Muslim Brotherhood is exploiting it.
All right, Brigitte Gabriel, thanks as always for your expertise and joining us on Fox and Friends. We thank you.